Hi there. Hey there, ho there. We're as happy as can be. Another week, another session of Three Ball Walk with Bob.
Bob, Julio, and Eddie.
And Eddie. I'm
Yep,
Julio.
hey. Eddie's Julio.
And start on Major Leagues, but then I said to myself right now, Self,
Did you answer yourself?
are they actually paying? We already know, we talked last week what Mike Martin did. This week he resigned, one more year and everything.
He didn't resign.
He announced he's got one more year.
Right, and then he's going to
So that'll let him work, because if not, if he'd have just resigned, they would have hired someone. Now he can kind of work he might quit halfway through the year and make his son be the interim, so his son will wind up with the job. Watch that. I'm marking it now. Okay. I'm telling you right
people
now.
People have been saying that for years, but that
way
scenario,
he would wind up a way to let him.
I think he wants to go back to Omaha one more time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep.
I think if he had gone to Omaha this year, he would have sailed off into the sunset. If they had won, I think he definitely would have sailed off into the sunset. Sure.
Well, I pulled, and I was going to show you this, Eddie, before, but I might as well do it right now. I pulled a...
technology at work right here.
Yeah, technology at work. The Supreme Court ruled that couple with the bakery didn't have to make the cake for the gay wedding and everything like that. So where religion enters, where religion enters what you need to do at work and
public arena.
Yeah, the public arena. Yesterday, for the last 2 days, I've been in some meetings in Tallahassee. Yesterday at lunch, they brought out a special guest about how to be successful in teamwork and being able to work as a unit and everything like that. And our guest at lunch yesterday, right there.
Oh, yeah, Lonnie Almeida.
National champ and everything like that. And they sit there and they say, look, instead of sitting in the little lunchroom over there, grab your lunch, bring it back to your table. We're going to have a working lunch because we're going to have a guest speaker and whatever. And then right before we went to lunch, hey, remember, just grab your food, get back in here as soon as possible. Just to let you know, we're going to play some music, and it's going to be the coach who won the national championship in softball. And when she walks in, I want everyone to welcome her with a tomahawk chop.
No, you did not.
Is it going to cost me my job? You know, is it like the bakery making the cake and everything like that?
Did you cave in? Just answer the question. Did you cave in? Did you do the chop? Answer truthfully. All right, you did the. Oh, that's no.
Weak.
That's weak. That's weak.
And she walked in and saw me and looked at me and laughed. And then she spoke for about 15 minutes, and then she says, any questions? And I asked her something about the attitude of how she sees performance when you're a game down on the brink of elimination and when you're not. Did she see any difference in her team and the way they approach things? And she said, well, good question, Gator Man. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I did not do this. I did this.
Yeah, I still think that's a little...
But I definitely had this hand, the left arm up.
Okay.
I gator chomped.
Okay.
I chomped.
Well, that's good. That's good. I would... Yeah.
But it was interesting. It was interesting. And now we talked last week about the debacle that was the regional with Mike Martin letting his pitcher go after 100 and whatever pitches in a 2.5-hour rain delay. Did you watch last night's game?
I watched part of it, yes.
Did you watch the end when the North Carolina guy, he sits there, he walks the bases loaded, he walks in a run on full count, and he had a 6-3 lead, and he decided in the 8th inning to go with his senior guy, pulled the pitcher who had been doing a good job, and the guy he brought in self-imploded, and he refused to. And
we stuck with him.
I
can just see it.
What was the final score? I
think 27-6. I mean, I quit.
No, it was not.
I quit watching at 12.
It was 12. They scored 12.
Well, it was 6-3. It was 6-5. He walked in the run to tie it, 6-6. He walked in the run to go ahead, 6-7, and then he gave up a hit, 8-6, and then there was a 2-run homer. Okay, 9, and then they didn't score in the top, and then in the bottom of the 8th, North Carolina didn't, and then in the top of the 9th, Oregon State just started getting more hits, and I just said they're never going to get.
Party's over.
Oh. What was the final?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay. It was a lot to 6.
A lot. That's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, it was 6-3 in the 8th, and they didn't finish with 6. They had to have put on. You got it for me yet?
I'm working on it.
More technology.
But it's interesting. So you now have 3 teams left in each bracket.
11-6.
11 to 6. And you've got 3 teams left in each bracket. 6 teams, half of them are SEC teams. The 2 teams sitting at 2-0 are SEC teams. Florida and Texas Tech tonight in an elimination game.
Yep.
And then Oregon State Oregon State now has advanced. Oregon State's got to beat Mississippi State twice. Whoever wins with the Texas Tech Florida game has to beat Arkansas twice.
So there's only 5 teams left?
So that is correct.
There's only 5 teams left.
So tonight's game with Florida, I guess Leftwich will be the pitcher. Have they announced that yet?
Either Mace, they
have not announced yet.
They said that what was it? That Leftwich is easier gets loose in the pen.
That's interesting.
So that's why he started Mace that 1 week, because Mace kind of needs to be told he's starting, and it takes him a while to get ready and everything like that. But then my other thought is, if they win, they've got to play tomorrow, which means they need both. They need one to start now, and I know you've got to win today, or else there is no tomorrow. But
Right, but you do have to think ahead. I mean, if you're 50-50 on who to pitch, then you pitch whoever can get you to tomorrow. But you go into that game thinking, okay, if we have to use both of those, who do we pitch tomorrow?
Right.
You've got to have a plan.
Well, but then the other part is, your first game was Sunday. Tomorrow is Saturday. You can come back with Brady Singer.
But if you come back with Brady Singer tomorrow, then, Saturday, I guess it wouldn't be Saturday, would it be? Saturday, Sunday, or they play Sunday and then
No,
double?
Monday, Tuesday. The 2 out of 3 is Monday, Tuesday,
No.
Wednesday if necessary.
All right, so if they win tonight, they
They
play
play
tomorrow.
Saturday.
They don't play tomorrow. They play Saturday.
Oh yeah, and then Sunday is
But they have to
only
play
used.
two.
Sunday is only an if necessary
Right.
game on both
So it's
divisions.
possible that you may have to play 5 days in a row.
Correct. Well, they will. No, if
Yeah.
right now they have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if necessary.
6 games in a row.
Well,
6
that's
days in a
why
row.
you don't lose.
That's true. I mean, it is. That is why there's not too many times you go through the losers bracket to make it there to the winning.
And basically in that, and you bring up the good point, and I know we're way ahead of it, but if you win tonight with Leftwich, Mace, whatever,
Either one of those.
then you go Brady Singer on Saturday, and you really can't. Kowar went Tuesday to bring him back on Sunday, but now you don't have either of your 2 players for the 2 out of 3.
But do you think at this stage of the season, 4 days rest isn't that enough, or do they need 5 days?
I don't
rest?
think Sully's going to use Singer or Kowar, even though they're off in the pros. He's not going to do it. He's not going to jeopardize what he's done all year.
You know, the thing about it is I was talking to some softball dads when we were playing softball, and people were talking about, having to play this many games in a row. And one of the dads said, we've been doing that forever, right? You've been doing it forever. You play 4 or 5 games, 6 games in a day sometimes at some of these big tournaments. So playing 2 games in a day or playing 2 games back to back to back is not that big a deal in softball. And I think in baseball, I don't know how they do those travel ball tournaments, but I would imagine you play back to back to back to back to back, 4 or 5 day tournaments, and your guy pitches 2 days within that tournament. He only he doesn't. There's no way you carry that many pitchers where he only pitches once in those big tournaments.
Yeah. Well, and what you do a lot is you use in the elimination phase when they're seeded and now 1 game and you're gone, and then hey, this is your game. You're pitching Saturday morning at 10 a.m. or whatever. Right. But leading up, while you have the qualifying games to be able to seed the people in the elimination, then it's like you're throwing 2, you're throwing 2, and a couple days later you throw 2 more. So you might throw 2 innings on Monday and 2 innings on Wednesday, but then on Saturday it's your game.
I know we had
6, 7 innings.
I know we had a guy that played against us in high school, and this was high school. I get it. It's high school, and the guy's not getting ready to sign a multi-million-dollar contract. But it ended up getting him. He ended up getting signed because this day we played in a county. We played in a county tournament. Okay, and we were in the winners bracket, and they were in the losers bracket, and they they beat us the first game. He pitched and they beat us, I don't know, 2-1, 3-2, something, one-run game. And then he turned right around and pitched the second half of a doubleheader 20 minutes later.
Holy crap!
Wow.
So he pitched 14 innings straight. I think we ended up winning. I don't know if we won that one or they won that one. I don't remember which way that went. But I know that the scout who ended up signing him out of high school said, one of the reasons we got you is because you pitched that doubleheader back to back. And we figured, okay, if his arm can last 14 innings, he's got a good enough arm.
Right.
So that's one of the things I think about is, okay, 4 or 5 days rest. You get to the big leagues, how many days rest do you get?
You pitch every 5th day. You get 4 days rest. Then
So,
you pitch.
so technically, starting in about a week and a half or 2 weeks or 3
If
weeks.
he throws Saturday, he's going to be throwing next Wednesday.
Right. So once he signs his deal.
That's why I think Singer is a no-brainer for Saturday. You know, you've got
But
to
if
throw
you pitch
Singer.
Singer on Saturday, then you pitch. You
Do
try
you
to
throw Kowar on Sunday.
I think you try to piecemeal on Sunday,
and
and
that's
pitch.
what Kowar
and
game
pitch on
1.
Monday.
And then what you can do, which is
LSU
what
last
he
year
did.
got in trouble because their starter pitched on Friday on
Well,
Saturday.
they came out
to
of the
get in.
losers bracket.
Right,
They had
same
to come
way,
back
and they had to
Sunday.
come back, and then they had to play Sunday, and then they ended up playing.
Correct.
They didn't pitch their best pitcher against Florida.
Now, what if you recall, they had Faedo and Singer,
Right.
but Kowar had thrown that Saturday game, so they didn't want to start him. But if you recall, he's the guy that closed. He closed out the game on. He was
going to start on Wednesday. He
closed the Tuesday
right, because they
he
didn't want to face their number one guy on Wednesday, so they figured they had a chance to win it then. Or if they didn't win it then, they probably weren't going to win it the next day anyway.
And they closed, and they brought in Kowar on 3 days rest.
Right. And so I think.
But in relief for only for
that's
only an
different.
inning,
But I think then you throw Johnny Holstaff on Sunday.
which is what I think. And
if you get a guy,
you got to win tonight.
If you
And
get a
gotta
guy,
win
if
tonight,
you get a guy that goes 3 or 4 innings and gets you 3 or 4 good innings, great. And you have to rely on your offense. But here's the thing. If you're not a Gator fan, that's fine. If you are a Gator fan, I got bad news for you. This team cannot hit enough to win 3 games. Even they can't win an offensive battle.
They can hit more than last year's team.
Right, but they can't win enough to win an offensive battle.
Correct.
And that's what you really have to do on that Sunday game at some point. You got to win a game with your offense.
With one exception, is today Leftwich Mace, whoever is just a stud and goes lights out. Then you don't have to go Johnny Holstaff on Sunday because you got that other guy.
Right.
Then you've got Mace and
right,
Leftwich on Sunday.
Right, but still, at some point, you're going to have to win a game offensively, and I just don't know if we
Speaking
got enough.
offensively, I mean, it's something that's offensive. The Florida catcher is pretty offensive. I mean, is he all the Gators have?
He wasn't supposed to be playing. Bob.
Well, I understand
He's
that.
a bullpen catcher.
He's a
I
bullpen
understand
catcher.
that. So there's nobody else.
No, there's nobody else.
There's nobody
So
else,
is
and that's
Schwartz-
one thing where we have always had 2 or 3 catchers.
Right.
Okay, from
didn't
Rivera.
have
and-
one.
What?
We didn't have one this year.
We
didn't
only
have another.
had one. And I'll be honest. I know he's the captain. I know he's the star.
He hurt us
whatever.
He hurt us that first game playing first base.
Well,
Completely.
and the thing is, offensively, having not batted for a month,
Right.
he is not going to be better than Keenan Bell
No.
or Buddy Smith.
No.
So that means you're not adding any offense,
No.
and you're
Hurting your
and
defense.
You're hurting
Right.
defense
Completely.
completely.
Yep.
Okay. And my thing is, if he can come back in the lineup at catcher,
Right.
then you need to put him back there. But you're not helped. The team is not being upgraded at all by putting J.J. Schwartz in
I
the
know
lineup.
that he got hurt, but we talked about this. I've never seen a guy put his hand.
He should not have had his
right,
hand
I don't
there.
get that.
Did you see when Buddy Smith closed out the game the other night and caught they pinch it for Duran? Buddy Smith caught the 8th and 9th inning. He's right here.
You
And
can't-
I'm like,
you can't
I've
catch
never.
there. You
Do
can't-
we have a catching coach that has? Because that's what happened to
behind
J.J.
here.
Schwartz.
Right.
No,
No,
you put it right.
no, you put it behind
That's how
you.
you.
Right, no,
receive.
I know, but I'm saying
And
any
every
place
one of
right
our
here.
catchers, Duran doesn't. Duran is back here. But Buddy Smith, J.J. Schwartz, the hand is right here. That's how he
Anytime
broke
with
it.
nobody
Right.
on base, there's no reason to have your hand.
No,
in
I
front of
agree.
your
I
body.
agree 100%. There's no reason. He should have his hand behind his back.
There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason. Catching 101. So
But I do. If they can put him at catcher, our team is upgraded.
I'm
I
with
agree.
you 100%.
Because he can hit with one arm better than
yes.
Guran.
Right.
And nothing, if you're facing Columbia and JU and that pitching
And they
staff,
don't know you, and they're throwing you fastballs inside.
he can hit. And he won, and he came up big.
He did.
But right now they've got the scouting reports on him.
Pitch
and
him
he's
away,
0 for
pitch him
27.
away, pitch him away, pitch him away, and he's not going to do much.
Nope.
Yeah. So
well-
so that's the one. So college. I hope you guys are enjoying it because
been good.
It's been a lot of interesting things. Oregon State, even though I think the game was handed and gift wrapped to them last night, they're showing why they're a top seed.
How was it handed? I mean, that first two batters went back to back.
And then they fell behind 6-3, dude.
Oh, well.
And then they were mowing them down. And the North Carolina coach sits there and says, "Let's give you guys a chance. Let's put someone in there." And then when the guy's not working out, doesn't matter. You're our senior.
Yep.
We need to go with you.
Man.
And they got 8th and 9th inning.
Oh, see, I didn't
11 to
see
6.
I didn't see the end of it. I just
11 to
saw-
6, but 8 runs came with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Wow.
Wow. 2 out hits wins games every day. Force fans, you'll hear me say that often. If you come to a softball game, you'll hear me say it every time there's 2 outs. 2 out hits wins games every day. And that's
Even
what
on
it is.
television, you hear him say it.
All right.
See,
so,
I hear runners in score hitting with runners in scoring position wins games.
Yeah.
Hitting with 2 outs and runners in scoring position wins championships.
that'll make you win it. All right. Well, we got to go. We'll be right back for the second half.